back again for yet another little mini show, fantastic chat with my speaker from the UK. Now, this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman that I met through the Professional Speaking Association UK and Ireland. And she was actually one of the co-founders of the whole association in the UK. And she is now known as the gender speaker. So she speaks and trains for a reason. And she also speaks and trains for a cause. So without further ado, let's bring on to the show, Rikki Arundel. Rikki, thanks for being here live with Lottie today.
Hello, welcome. Yeah, good to see you. Yep, fabulous to be here.
So Rikki, bearing in mind that we're doing this for the Asian Professional Speakers of Singapore for their convention,
Absolutely.
I wanted to focus on the two things today. Haven't had a chat with somebody who is creating, using live style presenting to create product behind the scenes. So first of all, tell us a little bit about you and your speaking career, and then how you're using your speaking to build product via live style shows.
Right. So I had a long career of speaking in technology and financial services up until 2000, 2002. That was when I changed gender. The world changed. Everybody suddenly didn't want to hire me at all. So I did a degree in gender and started working. It just happened to coincide with the huge amount of stuff going on legally in the UK with changes to our equality law. So I got involved in helping to, construct some of that law around trans people. And it helped me over a period of 4 or 5 years to establish myself as an expert in gender and transgender issues. And that's really what I've been doing mostly ever since. I still teach speaking. I still teach people, speaking skills, and still do a lot of work in the PSA. But so Singapore, hello Asia. 2005, last time I was there at the first Global Speakers Conference. That was an amazing time. So I'd love to be back there. Now, one of the things I'm finding is there's an increasing problem within the whole of the public sector where I do most of my work, and that is that they don't have any money. Since 2010, they've had massive cuts. Most of the public sector has had to put up with cuts of as much as 50, 60%. So what tends to go by the board when they've massively cut this budgets is training, especially if they can't show that it's absolutely life or death. You have to have it. So what I found was that the levels of live training available, I had to cut the courses down to half day instead of full day, really struggle with pricing because they just don't have the money. And they'd almost rather pay less for a poor quality product than actually have a better speaker. So what I'm starting to do now is put together courses online so that they can get access to those. That means they can provide training to their staff at just a few pounds each, rather than 30 or 40 pounds each if they're going to attend a workshop. The challenge for me was, how do I take that live engagement that I'm used to doing when I'm working with people live and translate that into a video? So what I did was to, I think like most speakers, I wasn't very comfortable with the whole idea of speaking to a camera. It's very hard to try and visualize an issue. There's an audience there. So the first thing I did was do a 30-day challenge. Exactly what you've been doing with Ladies Go Live all last month. But just get online every day for 30 days. And by the end of that, most of the hassles and challenges of seeing yourself and feeling uncomfortable about it will have gone. And you'll...
Well, Rikki, the first thing you did actually is you and I had a blooming great chat, and we sorted out what kit you needed and everything. And then I loved it. Then you went straight and you did your 30-day challenge. So you picked up the live style of presenting by going live and doing videos, some of them pre-recorded, some of them as live streams. And you weren't worrying about who was watching, when they were watching, how they were watching. You were simply, like you do, and as you coach people so brilliantly, honing your craft from the stage to this size on screen, and you did it so brilliantly, Rikki. You really did.
I think one of the other things is, I mean, I got invited by someone to do some training on Zoom to a small group that she ran. We did some work on storytelling, and that was all done with Zoom. So it was a presentation and then discussion. And I think Zoom is a brilliant product to use. And it enabled me to get into now the whole thing is, because I could see on the screen 3 or 4 people that were also watching, and it was only a small group, but at least there was an audience that I knew I was speaking to. But also being interviewed, I think, you know, the fact that you and I have done some interviews in the past, I think any speaker's got to think about this. Try and get yourself on shows, because most people who are doing live streaming are looking for guests in order to add variety to the show. Even when I did my 30-day challenge, after about 2 weeks, I thought, I've got to do something here. And I started inviting people, and I was surprised at just how quickly people said, yeah, I'll have a go, I'll come. So it is really useful to get into doing interviews, getting some live experience there. Just anything you can to get on stream, get on live. I know 1 or 2 friends of mine have, Richard McCann's a good example. Every time he goes to a venue, every time he goes somewhere, he's showing people his hotel room. It's a great way to start getting the idea of just being on live, being natural, being yourself. Now, doing the courses, I found that I use a product called Filmora Wondershare. It's a brilliant, fairly low cost. I mean, you can get it for free, but I pay a little bit for the upgraded version. It's brilliant for editing videos, so I can do all the editing afterwards. But the actual presentation, I do as if it's live. And I found it, because I'm a speaker, because that's my life. I speak, I use PowerPoint presentations. I'm used to the whole idea of just interacting. So being able to, have the slides running, have me speaking over the top, has been a great way of doing it. I tried all sorts of other ways. So much time involved in editing and mucking around and trying to use teleprompter. Forget it. I just work with a PowerPoint presentation, just deliver it online as if I'm speaking to an audience, and just imagine that there's an audience sitting out there. And it all starts to work, and it becomes more natural. Have had to work on lighting. So today I'm just using a very simple ring light. Just invested in that. Best investment I've ever got. If anyone's doing any live stream stuff, this was really devised originally, I think, for the makeup and beauty YouTubers. They're the ones who, because you can put a mirror inside of these as well. But it's just good, so simple and easy. And I've noticed a lot of speakers now beginning to use this, because it perfectly lights the face up. You can put, I think you're using the same one, Lottie, aren't you? You're using a softer filter, which I might have a go. At the moment it's white. Behind me I've got a screen. I've got a couple of lights I can shine on the back, but I do that when I'm doing the recording. I'm also looking at I've got some decent images I can put behind me if I've got a green screen I can use. So bit by bit, it was necessary to build up these bits of kit. It's not hugely expensive for a speaker. Everybody, you need a good mic. This is my microphone. I think, are you using a Yeti as well?
Yes, I've had the same Yeti for my other machine. At the moment on the Surface, I'm actually just using the built-in Surface microphone. But when I use my other laptop, and if I'm recording, anytime I'm doing a voiceover, a voice recording, anytime I would be recording something that would be for a training style video like you're doing, Rikki, you need to have that top quality mic. And the Yeti Blue is the one we all love. These days, Rikki, I've got mine on one of these things, so it can go up and down now. So I've got my own boom mic built in there.
So, well, that's it. Yeah, mine still stands on the desk. It really works well. It's a nice, solid, heavy microphone. I've tried 3 or 4 other ones. I've got a small lavalier mic, which I use, particularly if I'm going to use my phone or something as for a camera. But this one works brilliantly. It's very directional, so it doesn't pick up a sound around it. I think they're about, they're under £100. The light here was under £100. The screen was similar to yours, but mine's just white and black. And I think they're about 50 quid, something like that.
And it's great. Actually, folks, if you go back, you can go back and see some of Rikki's early live. She's got a nice setup. It's in her office, and she's got a window on one side. So she's got some okay natural lighting when you're first starting. but just that difference, Rikki, for you now, seeing you with the proper lighting, with the backdrop, that's just giving that more professional edge. And then also when you're doing your training videos, you were saying you're having pop-up screens that are appearing with screen in screen. You've been learning how to use all of that. So you're actually creating professional standard, as we should as professional speakers of Singapore, Asia, everywhere else in the world, so that it has that professional look and feel. Now, Rikki, this is a mini show right now. So what I'd love for you to do is, could you give us a 10-second Rikki Arundel, the gender speaker, soundbite about the power of live and what you would instruct speakers of Asia to do for us? Could you do that, Rikki, please?
Yeah. The most important thing about live streaming is about being authentic, being yourself. And even if you're going to translate it onto pre-recorded material, that same energy that you would put across as a live presenter needs to be there. It's about being real, being authentic, and connecting with the audience.
Brilliant. And then Rikki, about how about a tip about converting live shows into a speaker's product?
Yeah, I'm still working on one now, and I think this is some of the early days, some of my early material. I've got it, and I might actually just make it available for just to get some testing. But I think especially with a product like Zoom, where you can present and then have some interaction afterwards. It's very, very easy with all these products. I mean, we're recording here using BeLive. It's being recorded. It's going to be available. It can, you can produce that and put it into. Can we now actually still record into groups now, or is that?
At the moment, Rikki, what's happening is BeLive. They've had a couple of announcements. They are in the process of getting authorized, as are a number of the live streaming tools that we're all using. They're getting authorized by Facebook, but obviously that's taking some time. So it will be back that we can use these third-party apps, as they're called, the BeLive, the live streaming tools for groups. But in the meantime, all the chat, we're all going, when's LinkedIn Live? When's LinkedIn TV going to come? And I'm just going, who's making it? We want somebody to make LinkedIn TV, please. LinkedIn Live. I'd love to see it.
I think it'll be great once they do it, and I'm sure Microsoft must realize the importance of getting there on this. But no, I think at the moment,
one very, very quick. Again, if I can get a sound bite from you about using live within your product, what's the one tip that you would say when you are doing that lifestyle presenting, when there's nobody there?
So the one tip about
how you've adapted your speaking style to give that lifestyle presenting, even though you're not going live, you're pre-recording, but you're doing it live style. What's the one tip that you would share with speakers if they don't necessarily want to go live, but they want to make it look like they're doing it live to make a product?
I still think the most important thing for me was to go live for 30 days. And that got me into the energy of being live. Once I moved across to doing my recorded videos, then I still took that same level of live energy when I went on to and it changed dramatically, the presentation. I scrapped everything I'd done before because the improvement was so great.
Brilliant, Rikki. And can you do a big shout out for me? Yeah. Hi to Asian speakers.
Hi there, Asian speakers. Long time since I've been there. I shall have to come back soon and visit you all.
Well, Rikki, there you go. That's the convention next year, I reckon. We need to chat with the team there and get you over there. So anybody else who's watching, you can find Rikki. This is her Twitter handle that I've had up here below. You can also find Rikki if you're interested in booking Rikki as the gender speaker, because I love the fact that you speak for your business and you speak for a cause as well, Rikki. It's true to my heart as well. There's a reason we need our philanthropic give back around the world. It helps us speak as well, become better speakers, Rikki, don't you think?
It does. I think it will be one of the things that we probably need to do is to start helping non-profit organizations understand that by using live video, they can actually bring speakers at almost no cost. Because I'd be happy to do some pro bono speaking if they didn't want me to travel 300 miles and stay overnight. If it's not going to take 2 days of my time, if it's an hour, I can go do that. And sometimes I'll do that for free, sometimes just for a small fee. But I think they would get a lot.
It's covering the costs, but at the same time, Rikki, it's also positioning you as the thought leader. That's why you are known, and you have been known for many, many years as the gender speaker, because you are the thought leader, you are the expert in that field. And speaker bookers won't look at you if you're not the thought leader and the expert. They won't even bother looking at you, will they?
Yeah.
Rikki, thank you so much for coming with us, and again, thank you for being part of our Ladies Go Live community. I know Rikki's going to get involved with us more this year for our summit. By the way, Rikki, we're aiming to make the 13th of September. It's not just going to be Ladies Go Live Day. We want to make it International Live Day. Wouldn't that be brilliant?
13th of September.
13th of September. That's the date that's the date we're playing around with. It's a Thursday this year. So we're looking to have that date as International Live Day. Sound like a good idea?
Sounds absolutely brilliant. Go for it.
Rikki, thank you again for being here with me live with Lottie today. Thanks, folks, for joining us on this mini show. And shout out to you Asian speakers.
Asian speakers.
We'll see you on screen very soon.
Take care.